Hey everyone, Steven here, and today I'm looking at the 6668A chair from Dowinx, which this is going to be the second chair that I've had from them, and they make extremely comfortable and affordable chairs, so I'm excited to see what this one is like. To start things off though, let's go ahead and look at the technical specifications and talk about the build process. Looking at the dimensions here, I want to highlight a handful of things, starting with the seat width, which is 20.1 inches, and the seat depth is 21.7 inches. The backrest is 33.7 inches tall and 22.5 inches wide. Dowinx has made sure these areas are wider to offer more support, and you can tell the difference especially with the seat cushion. For the height and weight, you have the recommended and the maximum limit. For the height, it is 3 foot 9 inches all the way up to 6 foot 1 inch for the recommended, and for the maximum limit, it is 6 foot 3 inches. For the weight, the recommended is 110 pounds up to 330 pounds, and the maximum limit there is 440 pounds. For the fabric on the chair, this is suede, which is extremely soft and comfortable. I think this is actually the only chair I've reviewed that has had that fabric on it, and you can definitely tell a difference between this and a normal fabric chair. This is much better. The seat cushion is 4 inches thick, which allows you to sink into an ergonomic position while offering long-lasting support, so you don't get any of the aches and pains from sitting for a long time. This has high-density foam throughout the chair, which helps with long-term support, while being softer than other foam chairs that I've used in the past, which is great. Now currently this is the only Dowinx chair that has the noiseless caster wheels on it, and for the lumbar spine and neck pillows, these are removable and those are also made of foam. The lumbar support pillow does have a vibration function if you want to use it, so it's a cable that runs to a USB-A that you can just plug in. It's a little bit on the shorter side, so it's not something that you could plug in and just roll around in your chair. You would have to stay closer to wherever you're plugging this in, but there is a detachable point if you wanted to detach this so you don't have a cable hanging from the chair. And the last thing I did want to mention here is they have third-party tested and had this certified by the German testing institution Prüfingel. Shifting over to the build process, this was straightforward and somewhat easy to build. This was one of the longer build times for a chair I've reviewed, and that's because almost all of the chair is broken down into its base parts. This means there's a lot more assembly required here, but the upside is there is far less packaging compared to other chairs that come with a larger portion of the chair already made. I don't mind the extra build time if it means less packaging from an environmental standpoint, since you only have to build the chair one time, and this is actually about 1/4 of the packaging when compared to those other chairs that have a larger portion already made. The instructions here are easy to follow, and you get all the tools that you will need, as well as some spare parts. Shifting over to the physical adjustments that you can make with the chair, for the height, this can raise and lower a total of 3 inches. Then you can tilt this back from 90 to 155 degrees, which most chairs stop at about 130 degrees. And then you can actually unlock the base, so this will rock back and forth 17 degrees, which when you pair that with the leg rest and then actually recline back, this ends up having one of the furthest reclining positions I've ever had with a chair. Which that in and of itself is pretty crazy, but the fact that this also supported my weight, it didn't tip over, it didn't feel like it was going to tip over, and it felt comfortable, although I'm not sure I would use this position regularly. The fact that it's there and it's something that you could do is great, which I've looked at probably close to 30 chairs now on the channel. This is the only chair that can get into this position. Now this is a racing style chair, and with that you don't always see it, but you can see it, and this one does have this feature. You have openings for the lumbar support pillow and for the neck pillow. This allows height adjustment without the strap that goes around the chair needing to fully stretch around the chair, and it just becomes harder to move. It's easy with this. They just glide up and down. That also means you have every conceivable position along that height that you can move this up and down on. It's not like little notches, just any position between the bottom and the top here, you can put either that lumbar support pillow or that neck pillow into a position. So this is going to be in the optimal position for you. And then last, we have the leg rest. Here, when you fully extend this out, it's roughly 14 inches from the seat cushion to the outer edge of that leg rest. So now that I've covered the specifications, build process, and mechanical adjustments, let's talk about what I like with this chair. And I always like to preface that I judge products based off their price, and Dowinx makes budget-friendly chairs with their price range typically falling between $100 and $200. The 6668A has a normal list price of $250, but right now it's on sale for $190, and I think at either price point, it's definitely going to be worth the money. The big draw here is going to be the comfort, because the suede and the high density foam make for one of the most comfortable chairs I've owned, regardless of the price point. This actually bests some of the extremely high-end mesh chairs that I've reviewed that are 3 to 4 times the price when it comes to long-term comfort. The suede is super soft, while the foam provides plenty of support for longer sitting sessions, and that could be for your gaming sessions, or if you were to use this at work. It's just comfortable across the board. This also has the largest degree of reclining on a chair I've owned, and it was able to support my roughly 220-pound body that's right around 6 feet tall without feeling like it was going to tip over. The combo of the reclining and the 17-degree rocking was larger than I would ever need, but I know for some people out there, they're going to really enjoy leaning all the way back as far as this can, especially with the leg rest. The lumbar support and neck pillows are really soft and comfortable as well, with a large amount of height adjustment to get this right into your exact sweet spot. I really appreciate the larger adjustability for the lumbar support specifically, because some chairs I've used in the past, they have it so that's actually locked into one position, and I would rather have a lot of options than none at all. And that actually carries over to the armrests as well, because a lot of times with these more budget-friendly chairs, they may have those armrests in a fixed position. I don't really like that. I like to have adjustability, and here you're getting all the adjustments that I think most people are going to want. They have you fully covered with up, down, forward, back, and then that rotation that you have, and they feel very comfortable too. So those are all the things I really like about this chair, and I'm happy to report I don't have any negatives or things that I don't like about this chair, because I think with this being as affordable as it is, they've really brought a ton of adjustability paired with top-notch comfort here. With that being said though, I do have some gray area things, which are things you may or may not care about, and I'm going to start with the build process. I've mentioned this earlier, it is longer. And if that's going to be something that frustrates you, then maybe this isn't the right chair for you. Just keep in mind, although it may take a little bit longer, you are saving on the packaging, and you only have to build this thing once. Once you're done, you're never going to have to build this chair again. So the extra 10 minutes, maybe 15 here, I think is worth it. Next, I didn't mention the noiseless casters in the things that I liked section. I really do like the noiseless casters, but I will say if you do have thicker carpet, which I do have, it can get stuck as the wheels are trying to turn. I think if this was on just a completely flat surface, you're not going to have any issues. They're extremely silent, they glide really well. It actually moves even on the carpet if they're lined up better than any of the other chair wheels that I've used. But when you are pushing off to a different angle and these are turned and they aren't facing that same direction, what happens is they can get caught on the thicker carpet, and so the chair wants to tip. So you kind of have to like shift around a little bit, get them lined up, and then move. When they're all lined up, extremely smooth. Again, they're not noisy. They're the smoothest wheel on a chair that I've reviewed when it is lined up. But if it's not and it starts to tip the chair, you have to actually shift back, readjust everything, get the wheels lined up, and then move in the direction you want to move. So kind of like a pro and con with that. That's why I didn't want to just talk about it in the things that I liked section here. And I don't mind it. It doesn't happen all the time, but I would want people to be mindful of that before they actually get this chair. And then the last gray area thing is going to be the leg rest, because it doesn't extend out extremely far, but that's because Dowinx is going to try and find the middle position for the height range that they recommend with this. If you remember in the specification section for the recommended height, 3'9" to 6'1". That's quite a range. And if you're somebody that's a little bit shorter, like you don't want something that's so long you can't even put your feet on it, because that's not going to make sense. But if you're taller, you also want it that it's not so short that you can't support your legs at all. So you have to kind of go to the middle. So it does depend on your height. Do keep that in mind. But for me, if you watch the video, it kind of hits the middle of my calf. It's an okay position. It's not the most comfortable. I would want it more towards my ankle. But if they did that, then in terms of their recommended height, it would have to shrink, because you would have to be closer to my height for this to really work and fit for you. So that's going to wrap it up for the gray area things. And in conclusion, I think Dowinx has an incredible chair on their hands with the 6668A. And I'm going to say this is the most comfortable chair under $200 that I reviewed. And it's because of that suede and high density foam that they've made this with. Now I'm going to have a link for this chair in the description if you want to pick it up. And if you have any questions about this that I didn't answer in the video, let me know in the comment section and I'll make sure to answer that for you there. If you like the video, hit the like button for me, as it helps the channel out. If you want to continue to follow along with all my content, hit the subscribe button for me. And as always, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.